Dead Rising has risen from the dead and it looks so good. They call this game a remaster, but seeing all the effort they put into it seems more like a remake. They really kept that spirit of the original game, added more quality of life features, and it basically just looks like how I imagined the game as a kid. I love the look of it, honestly. This time around they're using the RE engine, which is what the Resident Evil games are made with, and those games are graphically fantastic and it really shines here too. Now, from what we know, they haven't really removed anything from the game besides the direction arrow, say goodbye to that. And if anything, they just added in way more nice features that make the game really much better. More fun to play, I should say. I don't know about better, I haven't played it myself. We'll have to see how it turns out. The only thing I feel like they could really mess up is the voices. It seems they've pretty much replaced everybody, so we're going to be hearing a whole new cast of voice actors come through and re-voice everybody we've already heard in the past. I think it's going to feel a little weird at first, especially with our main man Frank, but I think we'll get used to it over time. We don't really have much of a choice. But if you've never played the original, you won't really be used to the old voices, so I'm sure you'll have a blast. This series is truly one of the best sandbox ones out there, especially for zombie games. You're not going to get much better than this. Alright, now let's talk about some of the changes going on here. First off, they added stairs to this area. Let's go! One of the main mechanics of these games is rescuing NPC survivors, but sometimes their AI just straight up sucks. So on the way back to the safe house, you can get your NPCs killed and, you can't really do much about it. And before, the NPCs had to climb up a wall to get to the safe zone and they'd usually get stuck. But now we're good, no longer a problem anymore. But hopefully the AI got a decent upgrade because we're going to be able to carry up to 10 survivors back to the safe house. I'm actually really excited to see the chaos because you can give weapons to these NPCs in case you didn't know. And so they can sit there and defend themselves, defend you, and you can create like a little group that you can move throughout the mall with. Speaking of movement though, the new movement for Frank looks fantastic and looks so much more smooth than the original. It's honestly one of the only things holding the old game back. It just feels really outdated these days. But with the new game, like I said, they kind of kept that original spirit, so a lot of the animations are the same. I just think they're going to play out a lot more smoothly. Another change is zombie cops can shoot guns now, just like in the old beta version of the original Dead Rising. And it is pretty cool to see back a lot of cut content that just didn't make it into the original game, like certain zombie models, certain weapons like the rocket launcher. One new feature that actually pissed some people off online is the autosave feature. In the original game, you had to save in very specific places, and if you forgot, you lost all that progress when you died. So I do think the accessibility is good, and it's just a way to get more people into Dead Rising without that stress, because I'll be one to admit I've lost a couple hours of progress. It sucks. It's not like it's mandatory, it's just an option. Certain parts of the story require you to be in certain times, so you can now fast forward using the watch. Just don't fast forward too much or you can miss certain events. And for right now, those are all the things that really stuck out to me. I will say, if the game is super successful, we may see a remake style game of Dead Rising 2, even though I still think it holds up pretty good. And maybe, if we're in the lucky timeline, Dead Rising 5. A couple years ago, they were working on a prequel to Dead Rising 3 with the main character from Dead Rising 2, Chuck Green, and they made it kind of like a Souls-like game. It looked really weird and it just didn't work for Dead Rising, so it eventually got canceled. So right now, we don't really know what is next for Dead Rising beyond this, so let's just hope this game is a success. Capcom really is at the point where they're testing the waters with what franchises really could work, so if you want this to be a success, use your wallet. And with that said, that's basically it from me for today. Normally I talk about Dying Light 2 and Dead Island 2 on this channel, but I really do want to switch it up and talk about some different games, so I hope you're also interested in this as much as I am. And if you've never played Dead Rising, well, this is a good spot to begin. Or if you want a good co-op game, go play Dead Rising 2 off the record. It's one of the best ones out there. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Feel free to like the video, subscribe if you want, and stop by next time. Cheers!